Hello everybody, I'm Jack. I'm here in Moscow, Russia, and the reason why I'm here is because today we've come to what is known as the world's first flagship miner store, specializing in miners. It's called Micro. In fact, you can imagine it's like the flagship store of Apple, where they sell their own products or iPhones, so that customers who live around here can go to the flagship store when they have time. They can go to the flagship store to see what the newest model looks like, the so-called miners flagship store. And they specialize in selling only the so-called miners, and they have different models of miners. With this introduction, I'm very curious to see what the inside of the so-called flagship store looks like, so I'll show you what it's all about. So without further ado, let's go. As you can see from the front door, this is one of their billboards, the so-called flagship store, and they're just showing you one by one what the miners look like. And as you can see, this device is the M50, and it says on the top that it has a capacity of 110 120T. 110 120T, its energy efficiency is 29 JT. Its wall power consumption is 3480 watts plus 10%, and you can look at each device, each model. Then there's the M50S. It's got a sign like this. It's very professional and simple. Let's look at the right side. This should be the water cooling equipment, and then the M33S++. There's all kinds of information here. My understanding is that the left side is air cooled and the right side is water cooled because it's a weekend and they don't open on weekends, they open on weekdays. And because of the demand for filming, that's why they asked me to come here, and we found a substitute receptionist to show us the environment here. We've also found a substitute receptionist to show us the environment and how the sales process is usually done when customers come here, or to introduce them.
Hello, I'm Mr. Zhang Lin from Micro Moscow, and now we usually introduce what we have in the showroom when the customer comes in, including the air cooler on the left and the water cooler on the right, as Jack just said, including ours. Let's go down.
There's more equipment here.
More equipment, and then in the front row, we have the most popular air-cooled models on the market right now, from the M30 on the left, then the M50 in the center, and then the M60 on the right. The M30 on the left, then the M50 in the center, then the M60 on the right, and then the row behind that, we have all the water-cooled machines, including the M33, the M53, the M63, the M63S, all of them.
We're also curious, like when customers come in, are they already mining, or are they just curious about the business, curious about the miners?
Well, all of our customers, we meet with them before they come in, we book them in advance, and they have an idea of what they want, what kind of machine they want, what kind of budget they want, and they have a plan. We recommend the machine he needs according to his plan. You can see here, this is our current meeting room. When a customer comes in, we usually talk here. In the back, if there's a lot of customers, this is the business area where the computers are, and that's where we do our on-site sales. Then we go this way.
So usually there's a sales booth here, and they're all local Russians, so the main clientele here is also local Russians.
Right, because we mainly serve the entire Russian domestic market. This is also our negotiation area.
And this is the manager's market. It's a big space.
It's 600 square feet in total.
So you have a negotiation area there and here. How do you decide where you want to negotiate?
If it's a formal business meeting, we'll put it in our meeting room, just the usual, like when our regular customers come over and we have a chat or we have a family chat or something like that. We'll just put it in the normal meeting area here.
It's good that it's multifunctional.
Otherwise, it's not good to drag everyone into the conference room. It's too serious. Look over here. There's also a maintenance test area.
So I know that we can do repairs here.
Yes, we can do repairs. This weekend, the masters took away all the machines, and on weekends, the masters aren't here, and then everything is put away, and then there's just a simple maintenance area here.
When they have a problem, they come here with their miners, and you can take care of it right here. But it is not a specialized repair site. Because the kind of repair center that I know of is the one that has hundreds or thousands of machines a day, and I'll show them to you when I get a chance.
I don't need to introduce you to the toilets here. This is a place for our machines. Including new machines, used machines, we can do a simple test on the shelf if the customer needs it.
New machine burn-in test. Or some basic tests for used machines.
You can run the aging test here. Do you usually have machines here?
Or do you bring them in when you need them?
We'll bring it in when we need it. We can test up to 24 units.
That's enough for a small home mining operation. Thank you very much, Head of Micro Moscow, for showing us around. Mr. Zhang Lin, for showing us around the store, because I'm also in the role of a miner communicating with the manufacturer. So after seeing the flagship store, I'd like to ask some questions and see if I can get a reply.
Yes, we can.
First of all, when I first saw this flagship store, I was very curious because I've never seen anything like this before, where the miners are brought in and then placed inside the store. I've never seen this kind of store where they bring in miners and put them in the store, and there are no other products, it's just miners, and I think it's the first of its kind.
At the moment, we're the only one that we know of that specializes in miners.
That's why we're curious as to what motivated us to do this and why we wanted to do it, because miners are sold online, or they're sold to people who know them. Or they may go to a familiar brand. Agents go directly to the store because after all, they have to rent the store, decorate it, and so on, and there are a lot of labor costs. It's a heavier way of doing things, so why would you want to use this model to sell?
Firstly, we are different from the previous online sales because online sales are based on basic trust, but when we came to Moscow, because we represent the manufacturer, we wanted our service to be localized. That's why we built this image store. This is the first one. And the second one is that when our customers come in, they can see all the machines we are selling, and he knows that he can get a good idea of what he's getting into. He knows what kind of products he's going to buy.
So it's a way for the user to really feel the existence of the machine, right? That's cool. So we're curious about how long this store has been in operation, when the idea first came to us and then when it was realized.
Actually, we've been thinking about it for a long time, but we started planning at the end of last year, and then in March of this year, we opened the store. At that time, we launched a publicity campaign to promote our image store, and then we officially opened the store. At that time, we also invited a lot of celebrities from the mining industry in Moscow to join us for the opening event.
So from March to now, I'm recording this video now around the end of June. So you've been up and running for about 3 months.
3 months.
Is there anything that you've done that's different from what you had in mind, or is there anything that's different?
In fact, the difference will not be too big because from the beginning of our entire idea to the implementation, we took it step by step and followed our time nodes, including our original idea. How we serve our customers in the Russian market, we've followed that step by step, and so far, we haven't had any major deviations.
I'm sure you're all wondering, for example, why you chose Russia when the mining industry in the US and Canada is a bit more mature and the regulations and policies are relatively clearer. Why did you choose to do this in Russia and not in these Western countries?
Because Russia is the only country in the world where all the people are mining, including the mining machine trade, the whole of Russia. In addition to the United States and other places you just mentioned, the prospects for the mining trade in Russia are very good. At present, some of the world's leading fund companies and mining companies are deeply rooted in Russia, and they're engaged in mining activities.
That's the way I understand it. Maybe retail investors have such demand. As you just said, everyone is mining. That's why they come to the store to see the miners. You've been rooted in Russia for a long time before you realized this situation, haven't you?
Right, because before we came here, we were also doing foreign trade in Russia. And then based on the whole development trend, we came here directly. We came straight here.
Do you say that your main service consists of selling the miners directly to the users and they go back and mine themselves, or do you have a different sales model? Because some people may not have the space to accommodate the noisy miners.
At the moment, in addition to selling the products directly, we also sell them with electricity. After purchasing the miner from us, the equipment can be hosted directly on our premises, which reduces the number of people who don't have their own space. This reduces the hassle of not having your own site, so you're not just selling miners, you're also providing other services, including the fact that we have a 1-year warranty on some of our equipment, but we also have a 1-year extended warranty on some of our equipment. The 1-year extended warranty is the same as Apple's.
I think it's a bit of a shock to see it like this today, because it's impossible to have a store like this in Taiwan, including in other countries, and I haven't seen anything like this. And what I've seen so far is nothing but a display of miners, and then we're going to see a display of miners. In addition to the display of the miner to our meeting room, to the reception room, and so on, there is also the maintenance and burner test in the back.
At present, our entire store service, product display, simple test and repair. We also have logistics and delivery, including sales with electricity, complete after-sales system.
With a store like this, have you met your expectations so far in terms of sales expectations or in terms of a plan? What's your plan for the future?
Well, at the moment, the store, as we've built it up to this point, it's not too far off from what we expect. In the future, we'll really go down to the market and develop the entire Russian region so that our brand can be sold everywhere.
Today is really an eye-opener for me, and I hope that you've gotten something out of this. So if you have any questions about contacting the manufacturer, please leave a comment at the bottom of this piece. If there's anything you'd like to tell our friends in the community or the audience.
If Jack's fans come to Russia in the future, all you have to do is call us, send us a message, and we'll arrange the whole thing. No problem.
That's great. Moscow only, Russia is huge.
Russia, because not only do we have a store in Moscow, we also have a store in Irkutsk.
So all over Russia, if you're traveling to Russia and you want to learn about mining, you can call out to the community. So remember, if you're traveling to Russia, just call out to our community and I'll pull him out, no problem.